Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Mr. Marcus from Astro Repairs. Can you dig it? Today we got a 2008 A6 Audi 3.2 engine. Today we will be replacing the wheel bearing on both sides.
Just one side, just that side right there, just the right side.
We just doing the right side today. We'll be right back.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Marcus just gave you the introduction. The next thing we're gonna do, jack this car up, set it up on jack stands, and get this done. Marcus, did you want to say something to people?
Yeah.
Marcus want to say something to you guys. Oh, girl. Well, ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen, I really appreciate all the comments and people. I like to see the comments saying I can improve. I really do appreciate everything. I take everything to the mind. And thank you again. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. I got my cardboard under the car because when we do work, we like not to get any oil, any kind of thing onto the customer's driveway. Alright, so I got the car jacked up. Come here right quick, Tim. Alright, so the way I jacked this car like last time, it's like a little dip into the thing. Well, so where I want to put the jacket, so it's not on the frame. And I put the jack
Not on the frame?
So it won't
Not
be
on that plastic cover.
not on the plastic cover.
Okay.
And I put the jack stand under the frame so it just rests. I let it down slowly so it can rest onto the jack stand. All right.
Okay.
And on normal cars, they have lug nuts, but on the Audis, they have sockets.
Bolts.
They have bolts.
Socket.
It's bad. So what change?
What's bad?
The wheel bearing.
Okay.
And these are 17mm sockets, bolt.
Okay.
And we'll be right back.
Uh-huh.
All right. Hit my nose.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we are. Now, we never did a job like this before, but pretty much we're gonna have to go with common sense and how things come apart to take this apart and get this done. Now, the first thing we're gonna do is we got to get all this apart right here. So the first thing we do in order to make sure we can move this spindle freely, we're gonna have to turn the steering wheel all the way to the left. So the first thing we're gonna do is take out this outer tie rod right here. All right. So we're gonna get the key, turn to the left, and we'll be right back. All right, here we go. First thing we're gonna do is disconnect our outer tie rod. That's the first thing we're doing so I can swing this back and forth as I need. And what we have here is a 16mm nut, and it's a square end bolt on the back, which I'm about to show you. So I got my 16mm 1/2" drive, and I put me a little wobble socket on it. I like the wobble sockets because it lets the socket wobble wherever it wants, gets into like tight spots. So we're gonna go over here, unbolt it, take the bolt out, and this is what I mean by the square head. Well, it's actually like a half moon. So what happens is, now you see that this side right here is exactly like the other side. So what happens here is the bolt goes in, and it's gonna lock right up against that. So we're gonna make sure it does. Over there it's a little bit closer. It actually does it. So I'm gonna put this up there just like this. Now we gotta get our tie rod out of here. That thing is stuck. That ain't going nowhere. Now, if you come on this side, you're gonna notice there's a slot right there. So what you gotta do is widen that slot up so the tie rod can drop out. And what I got here is my little nice handy dandy little chisel. And you don't want to, you know, go in like that. You don't want to, and also you want to make sure you stay away from that boot, because that boot has grease in it. That guy cutting the trees, man, is ridiculous. The boot has grease in it, and you don't want to lose that grease. So I'm gonna go up at an angle, and what I'm gonna do is take my hammer. And as you do that, you're opening that up until I can get our joint out of there. Better hammer. Alright guys, so let me go get a better hammer. Wait a minute. This looks like a bolt on top. You see that, Marcus? You know what? Let's see if that, see if that bolt's holding that joint in there. Let me go get a ratchet on and I'll be right back. Alright guys, well, I'm apologize about all that noise in the back. Alright, just like we said, we never took one of these apart before. So we're going on pretty much trying to use common sense on this. And we got this little bolt on the top. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take off that little bolt and see if it's holding that joint up. And it's a 13 millimeter, and I'm using a 13 millimeter 3/8 drive socket. Alright. Alright, we're still not dropping. So, I got my bigger hammer here. I'm trying to get this better. Oh, there it is. It's dropping down there. You know what I'm going to do is let me get my little hammer. And there we go. Look at that. It's got a slot in it. So when the bolt goes through there, it can, you know, holds it in place. I didn't know that. And there's our top. While 13 millimeter bolt came in. Now what I'm going to do right now is put this bolt back into place. Now Marcus got to be paying attention right now, because I'm going to go ahead and take this apart. And then we're going to press the new bearing in. And Marcus is going to be putting this back together. So I hope he's paying attention. Alright, so we're going to put the bolt like that. Going to take our chisel out of there. And what I'm going to do here is our nut and bolt, instead of having it lingering around and maybe lose it, we're going to put that back into place. And just slowly put the nut on it, and that's it. Now, here we go. See, now we can move our spindle around and not worry about joint, the outer tie rod. Alright, the next thing we're going to do, let's get our axle out of the way. Now, I mean, not an axle, our caliper and the caliper bracket. So now what we're going to do, first of all, we're going to look for a place where we can tie some mechanics wire at. Right here I got some mechanics wire. You can find pretty cheap and everywhere, pretty cheap at the store. And what we want to do is take the caliper off, and we want to hang it up with the mechanics wire, because we don't want this to hang down and pull on these brake hoses, because there's a good chance it breaks or anything, or our harness, wiring harness. So what we're going to do here is figure out what we're going to hang this up at, somewhere nice. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to hook it around here to the spring. Make sure it's nice. And then I'm going to bring our wire down to down below. And I just messed that up. Bring enough down. There we go. We got snips that. There we go. Alright, we're gonna cut this amount right here. Now we're gonna get our caliper off. We'll be right back. Alright, here we go. Now to make this easier for you to see, got a little nice little mirror that I took from Sylvia a while ago. So, okay, now in the back of here, we got two ways of doing this. One, we can remove the caliper and the caliper bracket at the same time by these big bolts right here. There's one right there, and there's one further up. You can't really see it. Or we can take off the caliper. And what I want to do is take off the caliper, so that way it makes it easy for you, just in case something happens and the brake pads fall apart, and you'll know how to put this together. So, if you look right here, those are dust covers right there. Right there. And right there. And the only thing you do is probably want to get a screwdriver or something. Let me see if I grab this top one. Just pop them things off. Alright, pop them off just like that. And go to the bottom one. Try to get that one off. We got a screwdriver right here. Let me see if this will work. Dang it, on the side. Alright, there we go. And it looks like we got two hex bolts to take those off. So what I'm going to do is grab my 7mm hex socket, 3/8 drive, and I'm going to place them into one just like that. And what I'm going to do is let me get my regular ratchet. Let me see if I can, yeah, let me see if I get my air ratchet in here. Let's try to get in there. There's one. And let's go down here to the second one. And that's really close to that line, as you can see. Hey, can you hold that mirror for a minute? You can see that?
Yep.
All right, got our second one out. Now, out here, you know what? Let me go get a flat screwdriver, and I'll be right back. All right, we got the bolts on the back. Now I got a screwdriver. There's a little clip, it looks like, right about here. And it just looks like the clip will just come out and... Definitely want to make sure you ain't prying on nothing that's not supposed to be. And it looks like it's locked into the caliper. So I'm trying to pick it up and over that caliper, over that. Oh, dang it. Dang, that just missed my. That just missed him. All right, that thing just. So we got to be careful with that when you taking this apart. This thing will snap right out of place. And there's a little ledge right here, a little piece that locks into the brake pad right there. So we have to actually pick that up enough to get that out of there, man. All right, so let's see if our caliper comes off. And here it comes. In fact, you might have to get you a screwdriver or something. And work your way out. Now we got it out that far. So what I'm going to do is hold it up in the air, hold it to the side, put our mechanics wire, these brakes are just put on, put our mechanics wire through the caliper like that, pick it up, and what I'm gonna do is loop it once. Then I'm gonna tie it into place. Now that's out of the way. Again, we have never done this before, but pretty much you can see if you're a good problem solver, good at puzzles, this would be really good. You can do this with no problem. All right, the next thing we're going to do is take off the caliper bracket. Now, if we look behind here, let me get my mirror. We have two bolts, one, and now you can see the second one. Now you can see them real good to remove this caliper bracket. Now let's see, I have no idea what size those bolts are, so I'm gonna take a guess. Marcus, how good are you? What size those bolts are? Okay, now you figure the bolts on the tires was 17, and these are bigger. What size would you say those are?
About 19, 20.
Well, let's see if Mr. Marcus is right. We got a 20 millimeter. Nope. What's next, Marcus?
Try 22.
22. Too big.
So it gotta be 21.
All right, so we got a 21 millimeter. Perfect size. So what I'm gonna do, put my little gun over here and all. I'm gonna get my 1/2" drive gun. I'm gonna get my little wobble socket, wobble extension. Put my 21 on it. And it's reaching in, loosen us up. So what I'm gonna do is I gotta hold this. Dang it, man, this thing ain't playing. Hold this to the left a little bit. And you see one of them. You got one.
Yep.
And our second one's kind of more difficult because our caliper's in the way. So what I'm going to do here is we're going to have to hold this caliper up. Great, cool. Then, let me get my socket on there. Got my socket on there. Alright, thank you. You can let that down now. Alright. So, we got both our bolts out. 1 and 2. Take our caliper bracket off. And what we're going to do so we don't lose our bolts, and stick them right back in there. Be right.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen. Here I go right here. Alright, so somebody just pulled up. Certainly, so I guess Mr. Timmy's looking at his truck. Let's go see.
Like right in the middle. Okay, the gentleman says here sees a lot of antifreeze leaking out. So we'll just do a quick little look to see if we can see any kind of leaks. And right now I don't. It doesn't mean there's not going to leak, but what we're going to have to do is actually do a pressure test. So what I'm going to do is give him a business card, and we're going to set up an appointment. And he also said the power steering fluid is leaking. So I'm going to give him a business card, we're going to set up an appointment. But in the meantime, let's get back to that Audi. Be back. Alright guys, check it out. See, that's what you call astral. You feel me? What the heck, man? I can't see my face. What the heck, man? All right, we doing this job. Somebody stopped by. The guy owns a landscaping company, and it's hard for him to put the trucks down because they're constantly working, especially, you know, this time of the year. So this is very convenient for him. So no matter where he's at, he's the one who was making the noise over there. So no matter where his trucks are at, he has a few different trucks. No matter where they're at, we can come and take care of them, service them no matter what. And looks like today we'll be doing the rear brakes and rotors on a 2004 Ford F-150. So looks like we're gonna be doing that right after we do this job. So you know, business is good when you're astral. Yeah, that's right.
You dig it.
Yeah, we can dig it. All right. We'll put this up and we're gonna get back to doing our job. We'll be right back.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I have my T30 socket. Alright, so now I'm gonna try to take it off. Ooh. And the rotor easily take off. Oh, this thing heavy. We'll be right back.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we're back. Marcus got off the rotor, took out the T30 bolt. There's a little hole for it, so we're gonna make sure it lines back up when you put it back together. The next thing we're gonna do is to make it easier for you to see what's going on. We're gonna remove this backing plate, and it looks like we got 1, 2, 3, 4 T30 bolts up here that we're going to take off. Now you see our cardboard on the ground, see all the dirt? See, that's why we put this down here, to protect the driveway. So let's go around here, loosen them all up. Okay, they're all loosened up. Now what I'm gonna do is get my electric gun, make it easy, and buzz them right at it. And here's our bearing assembly and all. You can see here's the 4 bolts, and they got 4 bolts going in the back that's holding it in, but we got to get this axle out of the way to do that. All right, I'm going to be right back. All right, got my little Craftsman cordless gun, 19.2 volts. This thing is great. So I got me a little 1/4-inch drive extension, 2-inch, with my T30 socket on the end of it. Now, if you're unsure about anything, and you know, you might want to take a marker and mark like what's the top and outside, but hey, you can see you can't really put it on. I mean, you can't really put it on any other way, so you're good to go. And what we're going to do here is put our bolts back in place so we don't lose them. And I mean, you don't have to do this. Just put them to the side. Especially if you're working in your garage, a nice clean garage, like a lot of you got. Alright, we're down to the nitty-gritty. Now, if we turn to the side over here, we got 4 bolts. Matter of fact, let me get the mirror to see it better. Alright, we got 4 bolts, and you can see, can you see that one right there? Yep. We got one right there, one down there, and the problem here is, see, the axle's like right in the way to get to them bolts, and that's the problem with this thing. So we got 2 options here. One, we can unbolt the axle, and we got to unbolt it anyway, and see if we can push the axle back enough to get the socket in there to take those out. Or number 2, we got to take the axle out anyway and drop our lower control arm. Ugh, that like it suck. So actually, I'm gonna look up here, and I'm gonna look up here, and I'm gonna see, is it easier to drop my lower control arm, Or would it be easier? It looks like it's easier if I just take the bolt out of the upper control arm. Yeah, and just pop them out and let it swing out that way. But the first thing we're going to do is let's get this axle out of here. Let's unbolt this axle. Let's find out what size this bolt is. This is a weird bolt for an axle. So you see the set that I'm using here. This is a great little set, guys. I had this for a while. And this is pretty cool. This one's a 19 millimeter. Nope. 17 millimeter. Perfect. We got a 17 millimeter hex socket. 1/2 inch drive. And what I'm going to do is get my air gun and we're going to buzz that right off. Oh, that was quick. That's a long bolt too. Dang. Alright, so we're going to put that to the side. And look at that. Look at that thing. Look at that thing wobble, man. Dang. Whole axle. Alright. So let's see if our axle can back up. Oh yeah. I'm surprised our axle is not actually coming out of there right now. I don't want to use a pry bar or anything to pry it off. But I'm pretty sure it can go back more. Let me get me a little pry bar. I'm gonna see if I can back this axe up a little bit more. Or let me see, 1, 2. I gotta see what size bolts those are. Oh my goodness. Guys, those are right there. Those are spline sockets. That sucks. I am not gonna be able to get to that one down there. So I tell you what, I'm gonna get me a pry bar. I'm gonna get my spline sockets and I'm gonna show you what they are. At least that's what I call them, spline, because it's like splines. And we'll be right back. Beat. I ain't hear no beat, man. Alright, here we go. Now what I got is my little pry bar here. Now I got my ABS wheel speed sensor over here, so I want to be careful with that. So what I want to do is try to get my pry bar behind the axle. Wow, guys, look at that. Look at the thing. Oh, we can't reuse this. That hub is completely messed up. See how the hub is actually shaved down? I think this thing been wearing out so long, man. That's wow. I mean, that whole thing right there should look like that shiny part right there. Here's our new bearing and all. Here, well, not new bearing. Our old bearing. Dang it. Alright, I don't know where we're going to get this hub from. We're going to try to locate a hub. See what the heck we can do. And we'll be right back.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, right now we have a little situation. We're trying to
the situation,
Asher and the customer is looking for the wheel hub because the customer is trying to be out of town by Thursday morning. So we're trying to like help. We're trying to help him out so he can be able to go on Thursday morning instead of a later time. We'll be right back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We called the dealership. They want $300 for the bearing for the hub.
There you go.
But we went online and we went on eBay for $124 for the bearing and the hub together. So now the customer's online. He's trying to purchase it, and we're gonna clean this up. We're gonna leave the jack stand here, and we'll be right back.
All right. What we're gonna do here, we put the hub back in place. put the nut in the middle of it, the big bolt, and we're gonna leave the jack stand up under there. And Marcus is gonna put the tire on, and this is gonna be kind of enjoyable. Let's see here.
We'll go back to what Mr. Timmy told me
what?
when I was a little kid.
Oh, you remember that?
Yeah.
What? What did I tell you? What did I teach you?
It's easier to put it on your foot, so it's easy just to line everything up.
How the heck you remember that, man?
I don't forget. It was like math to me. I don't forget too much.
Yeah, it's easy when you got the studs and stick that tire up there. Let's see you do that.
I can get it here. Uh-huh.
Yeah, when you see them start shaking, that means that tire getting kind of heavy. Yeah, there's that sound. Yeah. Man, sometimes grown people can't even do that, Marcus. They have a hard time. So you got it. Oh, you got it. He trying to turn that bolt by his thumb. A little trick, Marcus.
Yeah.
What you looking for? What you need?
Just about to tighten it up.
Huh?
About to so I can screw it in a little bit so
There you go.
It up.
Yeah, there you go. There's the socket. Hey, you got it started? Oh, you know what he's doing? Uh-oh. He got it. All right. We're going to clean up these tools and all. And, matter of fact, if you see over there, that's the truck the guy wants us to do the rear brakes and rotors on. Landscaping company. So, looks like we'll be doing that next. I'm not sure if we're going to do it there or we're going to do it someplace else. I'm not sure. But we'll be right back. You're on.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's in part one. The customer will be purchasing.
Well, hold on, man. We're going to be right back. Let's let this noise stop and we'll be right back.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's kind of loud out here, so I got to yell at you. Let's enter part one. The customer, he will be buying a hub assembly and will be
You kill me when you do that, man.
and he will be purchasing a hub assembly, and we'll be right back with part two. I'm Marcus for SR.
No. You forgot.
Oh, any questions or comments, please leave them below. I might be returning you guys' comments later on today. I'm Marcus for SR Repairs.
Hold it, man. Jesus, man. What
you can contact Tim at Asher Auto Repairs. I'm Marcus for Asher Auto Repairs once again. If we can't repair it, nobody can.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, check this out. Give you a little update. It's the end of the video already, so I'm back. Marcus went home. Check this out. On the this is another thing. A lot of aggravation going on. A lot of shops have a lot of aggravation with some customers. This customer with the wheel bearing, he's cool, no, nothing wrong with that. But he recorded the video, and this is a good thing we recorded that. Doing with the landscaping company. So he wanted on the red truck that I showed in the video, he wanted rear brakes and rotors done and an oil change. So Sylvia gave him a call, and she told him, now I forgot to mention to Sylvia about the oil change. So I just said the rear brakes and rotors. And he was getting the parts, and the labor to do that is $90. So she called him up and had to leave a message. He called back. And he said, that includes the oil change? He's like, no, I'll call you back. So when he called back and said, can you do it a little bit cheaper? No. It's simple as that. No. You know, check this out. The guy's constantly busy. He don't have time to bring his car into a building, a brick and mortar shop. So this is the convenience that we'll go wherever the truck is at. Like, for instance, that truck was right there, and the guys was in the neighborhood doing the landscaping and all. We could have did that job right there and then on the spot. Didn't have to stop working on. You know, sometimes, you know, when we get people like that, when they question a good price, we don't work on their car. It's as simple as that. I refuse to, because I can see an issue there. We have the cheapest prices, other than you go to of course, anyway, you go to a backyard mechanic or a shade tree mechanic or somebody who do work on the side. Yeah, they're gonna do it cheaper than a shop. But I'm not gonna sit here and nickel and dime with people, you know. And if you got your little side business and that, do not negotiate on a cheap price, especially when you're cheaper than the shop. My uncle would always tell me, because if you do that, you belittle yourself. You know, that means you're telling people that you're worth less, and you don't want to do that. You set a price, and especially if it's, just like I said, especially if it's a fair price, and you know it's a fair price. Hey, take it someplace else. I got no problem. That way, both people are good. You know, just I don't know. people actually they don't realize, you know, as far as Astral is concerned, we have a very good customer base, and our customers are cool. I'm not gonna sit here and say, yeah, you know, I should, you know, and you know what, and I have done this. I shouldn't be saying this on video, but when somebody gets like that sometimes. Before I used to have Sylvia tell them, yeah, the job would be like $100, and they'd be like, can you do it cheaper? And yeah, we'll do it for $40. And you go, wow, when can you do it? We can do it in 2 weeks. They set the appointment, 2 weeks come, I don't show up. Like, yeah, what up? I shouldn't be telling you that. Like, yeah, you want to try to nickel dime me, but yeah, no, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna. And then when they call back to the appointment, if they call back, I'll just say, listen, we forgot it. We're busy right now, and next time we got 3 weeks. Simple as that, you know. But again, I'm going to appreciate your comments and all. Marcus is going to be checking the comments section below, and just like he said, and he's going to be responding to you as well. We'll help him build up a level, get to a status where eventually he'll have his own toolbox, and he can walk into a shop and say, this is how much I want. That's what I want to get him, whether he's working for us or whether he wants to go someplace else. But he'll have that confidence to say, this is how much I want, this is how much I know. Alright? See them comments. Take it easy.